way back in the 90s and early 2000s, people were moving from rural America to urban America. And when I first started teaching in higher education in 2011, that was still happening. But a tipping point happened in 2017, and people started leaving urban areas and going to rural areas. And it was noticed that micropolitan areas became a new census destination. So it was new in the census data, and it was greater than 10,000 and less than 50,000 people in population. And these areas were where a lot of these urban professionals were moving to, and they were igniting the creative economy in these areas. Well, the creative economy is really everything that's really new and inventive. It's the arts and the sciences, it's technology, and basically innovation of all kinds. My book is a roadmap to developing the creative economy. And this is my book, Developing the Creative Economy Through Disruptive Leadership. And it's very exciting when you get a disruptive leader because they move to a community and they see the potential, and they're not afraid to take risk. So these people really drive innovation, they drive creativity, but they also drive results. And we have some really good disruptive leaders in our community. One of those is a man by the name of Steve Clark, who started The Unexpected. He's CEO of ProPack. He's one of those disruptive leaders that sits back and listens well, but always asks the questions that nobody thought to ask.
What was interesting 7 years ago when I first started working for 646, when the Unexpected project came along, and it was again an example of disruptive leadership on the part of Steve Clark, who formed 646 and who had the bud of the idea for the Unexpected. Literally over a cup of coffee, Steve and I were talking about Fort Smith needs kind of a boost, needs something to create some energy and some interest that's different than what we've seen. And his idea, he literally said, we could have an unexpected city of murals.
Obviously, the unexpected is such a big part of really Fort Smith as a whole.
First, you kind of have the unexpected. And so they said that, we can do things here on a bigger scale.
Because the whole purpose of unexpected is to not be defined. We want it to be something that's always changing and something different each time.
And the thought of bringing in international artists to paint walls in downtown Fort Smith was a big risk. It was a big risk to raise the money to do it. It was a big risk to get the building owners to agree. It was a big risk to find the right artist. In the first year, we did 10 murals that really set the pace for what an international artist can do in Fort Smith.
You change how people see their town, how they see themselves, right? If they believe that they're in an art community, then they're going to do things to really make that grow.
The creative community is having some growth in Fort Smith, but I see little things that have happened, and I see some big things on the horizon. There's been an operating gallery on Garrison Avenue now for a couple of years, and it is turning out commerce. There are paintings that are being sold. There are artists that are being supported. And I just noticed in the paper today that there's going to be another gallery opening downtown.
There's always something happening, whether it be a farmer's market or some concert or cultural event.
Those things contribute to the creative economy. There's a high-level functioning recording studio upstairs here. Downtown is Five Star Productions, which has been around for now about 20 years, and Mike Hart and his team have really built a significant business in Fort Smith.
I think more downtown operations and of course what's happening at Fort Chaffee arts-wise is always positive.
Fort Smith is blessed to have more than one sort of downtown.
One of the micropolitan areas is downtown. Downtown is classified as an opportunity zone. And downtown is developing their creative economy with music and arts and all kinds of entrepreneurism, business development. Then you have Fort Chaffee that is doing phenomenal things. The Fort Chaffee Development Office, what they're doing out there just blows my mind away. And they're doing something very similar to what downtown is doing, but in a little bit different way.
Chaffee Crossing is located in the southeast corner of Fort Smith, and it's also crossed over into Barling city limits. So there's 7,000 acres that used to be part of Fort Chaffee Joint Maneuver Training Center, which is operated by the Arkansas Army National Guard, and it's still owned by the Department of Defense in the U.S. Army. But the military base underwent the BRAC process, base realignment and closure, in 1995, and they carved out 7,000 acres on the west end of Fort Chaffee, and they gave it to the state, and the state created a public trust that is responsible for getting this property back on the tax rolls, for getting it developed, for creating opportunities for people of all demographics to have a place to live and enjoy a nice quality of life.
That has opened up the floodgates to opportunities for small businesses and perhaps large businesses someday to contribute to the creative economy.
You have the medical school that has come there, you have businesses that are being created for the medical school. You have huge research out in that area that's taking place with the medical school. You have major businesses. ArcBest went out there to have their offices out there. Now you have some high-end restaurants, and I'm glad to say there's a coffee shop going out there.
It's just exciting because it's like building a city within the city. And then when the medical college began, then it was almost like another community within the Chaffee Crossing community and within the greater Fort Smith regional community. And so those kinds of things just keep happening. And it's contagious to see that kind of growth. And it's exciting to be in on the ground level of something that is going to change the culture of Fort Smith forever.
And my research has shown that by doing this, it's really causing kind of a new wave of economics in America. And it's stimulating heightened creativity and new innovation. And heightened creativity is stimulated with collaboration. When people with different views, with different cultures, with different attitudes, with different disciplines come together and work together to create something new and innovative, you create heightened creativity.
You know, it's interesting to me to see what happens in some of the new businesses downtown. The bakery district is a really good example of disruptive leadership on the part of Bill Hanna and his family.
It's a neat story, but it's really a simple story. We bought the building after talking with the owner, and it was the owner of a Flowers bakery. And this Flowers bakery owner on their website mentioned that they are all about community benefit, about helping the community. And we sent them pictures of the building that had cobwebs and just rust and deterioration, and they completely understood. And when we said we'd like to do what your mission statement says, they completely bought into it. That's what led to us buying it. And our thought was, let's just preserve this building. And it wasn't what it turned out to be. Yes, we did preserve the building, but I think we enhanced it in a lot of ways by trying to create something that wasn't there. So we first started that, trying to get the community involved, saying, come to this space and tell us what you want it to become. And then organically it started making sense that, you know, events are what this should become.
I mean, you've got a bookstore, you've got a plant store, you got a great coffee shop, you got a restaurant, you have an event center, you have an outdoor gathering area, you've got three or four food trucks down there operating.
And so it was kind of a chicken and the egg of how it started to what it's become, because you can't really do one without the other, but both are just as important. I mean, having a coffee shop in here now is great, and the event center probably would suffer because there's a lot of collaboration with our tenants. The bookstore would not work without the other tenants, and so they all feed off each other.
That wouldn't have happened without leadership from Bill and his family and without a significant investment on their part. But it's another example of how the creative economy, if you're creative and you can create an economy that evolves around not just one thing, but several things in a location. It just makes it a smart business decision.
The bakery district development by the Hannah Corporation is really bringing a maker space for young people can really work out of it and get involved in entrepreneurial pursuits. The college has the Center of Business Development and a small business office that's going to go into the bakery district. And so that hub, the bakery district, and the college going into it really lets young entrepreneurs get the training they need, get the funding they need. They are going to learn what it takes to run a business. And so the college is really a major player in building economic development in the region.
I think the University of Arkansas Fort Smith has a significant role in the growth and development of Fort Smith and the promotion of the creative economy here.
We have some really exciting things going on at the university right now. And one of them is the merger of the College of Business and the College of Applied Science and Technology to form a brand new college called the College of Business and Industry. And it's really exciting to see these two groups come together because you have the technical side of the college and the business side of the college that is merged. And we're all learning a lot from each other.
Some of the classes that I've been fortunate to be involved in have evolved around starting new businesses. They've evolved around trails and parks and new parks in town. They involve around, this semester we're looking at, what would you do? What could we do if we could change the mall? I think a creative look at what could be done out there and what's needed in Fort Smith is a really good exercise.
It's super important to get the students involved because that's how that future happens, right? You got to train, you got to put those things in line to make that future and get it to start rolling.
Any university in a town almost creates the culture for a community. They respond and they react to how the university works. Now, we don't have a football team. The athletic program does make a difference, but that gives us the opportunity to not be a sports-centric town, but it can be something much different, which in my mind is a lot cooler. We could be something that's more arts-driven. We could be something that's more business-minded. We could be something that's more mechanically inclined.
The theater department at the university is going to continue to grow. The film opportunities are going to continue to grow. Script writing, all these things that allow an individual to learn a craft and get in position to get a job in the creative economy is important. And I really admire the leadership of the university and the fact that they are willing to allow that to happen at the school.
And so with that said, I think that the direction that the university is going is great. I'm hoping that we can increase enrollment. I think that slowly will happen over time. But the fact that we've got great management there, I think that there's just really good trajectory for the university. And then that translation, the fact that they're getting so involved with the community, that's only going to help the area.
The University of Arkansas Fort Smith is a integral part of the quality of life in this city. It doesn't have to be bigger to do that, it just has to be better. And the university continues to turn out a higher level of graduates and just a higher level of good jobs for people who want to live in Fort Smith.
So I see the university as really an opportunity for new programs and new development that really attracts students to come to this university. And I think our work in the creative economy does that.
I think Fort Smith has an opportunity in the next few years to add significantly to our creative economy.
So that's what I would really like to see Fort Smith in 10 years as being a major player in helping others and being the center for the creative economy.
If you look at the Peak Innovation Center that's happening, the manufacturing that has come in, not only in the Chaffee district, but also downtown and all over, people are locating here.
The big kind of outlier isn't the question of will people leave Fort Smith, it's what will bring them back to Fort Smith.
We have opportunity for 5 or 6 different areas of the city to become economically sound and commercial drivers for the city as a whole. And I'd really like to see us focus on enriching those areas.
Businesses, multi-million-dollar corporations are coming to Fort Smith, and jobs. There's an increase of jobs here.
One of the opportunities that's popping up in Fort Smith is the opportunity for Fort Smith to be the home of a new movie about Bass Reeves. And this movie is about the authentic Bass Reeves. And it came about through the River Valley Film Festival and the International Film Festival put on by the Society. Bass Reeves was an African-American hero, and he'll be treated that way in this movie. When you have a movie take place in your town, industry averages for one day of filming on location is a spend of about $250,000 a day because of the number of people involved in the movie. That does a couple of things. It stimulates the economy, but it also calls attention to Fort Smith when this hits the big screen. And it's a really positive reinforcement. Those things make a cultural statement about Fort Smith and about this part of the country.
If you can embrace your past, it allows you to create a new future, right? And so I think that's an important thing about not only understanding and embracing the history, but that opens up a path to where you can go, you know what? Let's find what is our new future going to be? What are the histories that we are going to create?
Fort Smith is ever evolving, and it always will, and it's a special place because of its geographic location, its history, and its future.
I think right now, though, there's the world and there's outside people who are looking into Fort Smith and going, this is a place where we might want to make things happen, right?
I think that if we just get more people that just see the value and see the benefits that I see, and I know people do, Fort Smith is going to be a great place to live in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
After living in Fort Smith for 35 years, I really hope and dream that Fort Smith will get its buzz back. Be a really hopping place where people are really proud to live, people are doing business, and in a way that they don't feel like they have to go outside of Fort Smith to go somewhere else to shop and to find entertainment and exciting options.
I would like to see a creative corridor that develops from Northwest Arkansas down to Fort Smith. A beautiful creative corridor that we become our own entity, but we become a significant player nationally and internationally with the creative economy. That if you think creative economy, you think of Fort Smith, Arkansas.